It wasn't dinner time yet, but she stood there anyway, quietly watching, her eyes full of hope. Her name was Poutine. Not long ago, she didn't know what it felt like to wait for dinner in a warm home. She didn't know the sound of kind voices, the comfort of a soft bed, or what it meant to feel safe. Her life had been nothing but shadows and silence, lived behind the cold bars of an overcrowded shelter, one dog among hundreds, forgotten, unnoticed, and sinking deeper into sadness each day. She had arrived at the shelter in terrible shape, thin, weak, and full of fear. Her ribs showed under patchy fur, and her eyes looked hollow, like the light inside had been slowly going out. She didn't flinch out of aggression but from memories of a life where hands didn't bring kindness. Her body trembled even at the gentlest touch, as if it was something she hadn't felt in years. People walked by her kennel without stopping. Her quiet sadness made her invisible, but one hand did reach through the bars, not rushed or loud, just soft and still. And something in her changed. The day she left the shelter, she didn't understand what was happening. She had no idea that her life was about to shift forever. The car ride was quiet. Her head stayed low, her body curled into a ball. When the door to her new home opened, she froze. No barking, no excitement, just silence. Her paws hesitated at the doorstep. Even the safety of a home felt unfamiliar. Once inside, she slipped beneath the nearest bed, hiding like a ghost. That night, she was given a warm bath. The water was gentle. The dirt from months of neglect slowly washed away. Her fur, once rough and tangled, was carefully combed. A soft towel wrapped around her fragile frame. She didn't understand it. Her eyes watched every move with confusion, unsure why someone was taking such care. But when she lay down later that night, on a clean blanket in a quiet room, she fell into a deep sleep. A sleep so peaceful it felt like her body finally understood. She was safe now. Over the next few days, Poutine began to open up. She followed her person from room to room, never letting them out of her sight. Her steps were quiet, her eyes full of questions. She didn't want to be left behind again. But even through her fear, love was growing. Her tail began to move just slightly when her name was called. She rested her head against warm hands and leaned in, just a little more each day. Something beautiful happened when she met someone new. A man entered the home, and everything in her lit up. Her tail wagged with joy, her eyes sparkled. She ran toward him with a kind of excitement no one had seen in her before. It was clear she felt a special connection, the kind that doesn't need words. From that moment on, she waited at the door every evening, just to be the first to greet him. In the beginning, toys meant nothing to her. Balls rolled past her untouched. Stuffed animals were sniffed once and forgotten. She didn't know how to play. Years of neglect had erased the part of her that remembered joy. But one afternoon, something shifted. She spotted a small toy on the floor, walked up to it, grabbed it, and gave it a sudden shake. Then another. She tossed it in the air and chased it like a puppy who had just discovered fun for the first time. Everyone in the room froze, watching with wide eyes. It was a moment that said, she's still in there. That playful, happy dog had just taken her first step out of the dark. From that day on, Poutine began to change even more. She explored new corners of the house with curiosity. Her tail wagged more often. She rested her head in laps, gave little nose nudges for attention, and leaned into every bit of love she was given. She started greeting people with soft eyes and open trust. Her presence filled the home with warmth. What once felt quiet and heavy now carried laughter and light. Poutine didn't just recover. She taught lessons. Lessons about patience, about second chances, and about how labels don't define a dog's heart. As a pit bull, she had been overlooked, feared, judged, but she proved that love doesn't come in one shape. Her loyalty was fierce, her gentleness unmatched. One day, someone from Muddy Paw's rescue came to meet her. The connection was instant. As soon as their eyes met, something clicked. It wasn't just a meeting. It was a moment of belonging. Poutine curled into her arms like she'd always known her. That woman became her forever family. And her new life began again. She left for her new home with her tail wagging high and her heart wide open. A home where she would never be forgotten again. A place where she would be loved, protected, and seen for exactly who she was. From a shadow in a shelter to the light of someone's life. Her journey was more than survival. It was a transformation. One made possible by love, time, and a belief that every soul deserves another chance.